Good day, everyone. My name is Toyosi Labeodon. I'm going to talk to you about work permits and study permits. Which one is better? I get these questions a lot of times from people. A lot of people want to come in on work permits, and at the end of the day, they end up doing a study permit, while some other people want to come in on a study permit, and at the end of the day, they also end up doing work permit. But one question that people ask most of the time is, which one is better? Should I come in on a work permit, or is it better I use a study visa to come into Canada? So I'm going to talk about that today. Before I go on, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and with our Trilling Travel. Don't also forget to hit on that bell notification button so that anytime we post any video, you'll be the first to get to see it. So the question for today is, which one should I choose? Or which one should I choose? A study permit or a work permit? So I'm going to try to compare the two of them, so you can understand and be able to make an informed decision on the best choice for you. Work permit, in my own view, seems to be the best. Why? Because you are coming straight away to work in Canada, and you can actually work unlimited hours. Yeah, you can have a closed work permit, you can have an open work permit, but most of the ones, any of the two of them, either closed work permit or open work permit, it allows you to work unlimited hours, and the day you land, you can start working. That is the advantage of a work permit. But the problem with a work permit is there are other processes that you might need to do before you get a work permit. For example, you need to get an employer who is willing to employ you. You can't just get a work permit without getting an employer. So the first step you need to take is get an employer. Then the second step, for most jobs, you will need what we call LMIA, which is Labor Market Impact Assessment. This is a document that is issued by one of the bodies of the government of Canada, and that document confirms that the employer that wants to give you a job offer has tried giving that job to a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. He has not seen anybody in Canada who can do that job, and that's why he's trying to give it to a foreigner. That might be a bit challenging. It's not impossible. We've gotten work permit for people who are living outside Canada. It's not impossible, but it might not be so easy. So it might not be so easy for you to get a job offer from an employer, and even if you get one from an employer, it might not be so easy to get LMIA approved by the government. So in what I'm saying now is that work permit is very good. It allows you to come in to work straight away. You don't have to spend extra money. This day you land, you can start working, or the next day. But the requirements might not be easy for everybody to get. And one other challenge with it is that the number of people that can come in on a work permit are not as much as the number of people that can come in on a study permit, a study visa. So work permit is good. It allows you to come in straight, work, but you need to get a job offer, which might not be easy to get. You also need to get, your employer also needs to apply for LMIA to show that he has not seen anybody that can do that job that he wants to give to you. Now let's go on to the study permit or a study visa. Yeah, study visa also allows you to work, but you cannot work full time like someone that has a work permit. You can only work full time during your break, but while you are studying, you are supposed to work. You're only allowed to work 20 hours per week or thereabouts. So that limits you to what you can do. You can't really earn a lot of funds by doing limited jobs, 20 hours per week job or thereabouts. You won't really earn so much. Most of the jobs you might see them paying you minimum wage and all that. And you're also restricted to the location of your school, most likely, because you won't likely want to go further away from where you are schooling. Then one other challenge with study visa is that there's a lot of funds involved. You need to pay your school fees. That might be a big issue. So if you don't have funds, you might not really be able to come in on a study visa. But if you're coming on a study visa, you need to have funds to pay your school fees, and also show the visa officer when you're applying for a visa that you have money to take care of yourself for the period of your studies. So the challenge with a study permit is, even though you can work while studying, but you cannot work full time when you are doing full time studies. It's only during your scheduled breaks that you can work full time. So that's a big limitation. The one other thing about study visa might seems faster to get than a work visa. Yeah, you can easily get a study visa approved, but because of the requirement of having to get an employer who give a job offer, having to having your employer also needs to go and apply for LMI and all that, it might not be so easy to get a work permit. It's after you have done those two requirements that you can now apply for a work permit. But study visa, if you have the funds, you just apply for a study visa and you can easily get the visa approved. Once you have the funds, you are fine. So the difference between study visa and a work permit is what I just talked to you about. So in my own view, it might be harder to get a job and get LMI approved when you are coming in on a work permit. Meanwhile, a study visa might be so easy to get for you because you don't need to get an employer. All you just need to do is get admission. And there are so many schools available that can give you admission. So many schools that can give you admissions. So it seems it's easy to get a study visa than a work permit because of the extra requirements that a work permit requires. And that is why a lot of people are easily scammed. People just tell you, oh, I'm going to get you a work permit and all that, and you jump for it. You think they are telling the truth. It's so easy, and you fall for whatever they say, and at the end of the day, you have been scammed of your hard-earned funds. So you now have what it takes to know the difference between a work permit and a study visa or a study permit. So a study permit, all you just need to do is get admission, pay your school fees, then you need to study. You need to come and study, and at the same time while you are studying, you also need to work if you get a job. Unlike someone who is coming here on a work permit, is coming straight away to work. He doesn't need to study. He doesn't need to go to school. He does not need to pay school fees. So there are two ends of a coin. Each of them has its own peculiarity, and they are actually different. And just like I said, a student can work, but when you are fully in school, when you are doing full-time studies, as an international student, you are not allowed to do full-time work while studying. Yes, at the moment there's a public policy that allows students to work full-time, but that's a temporary policy. It's not a permanent policy. So we can't really talk about that because we can't be sure that that policy will be sustained or will continue forever. No, it's just a temporary policy to sort out issues that they had when there were a lot of vacancies and they needed people to pick up jobs in Canada and all that. So you can't say because of that policy you are now allowed to work, or you now say students who are allowed to work. Yeah, it's a policy, but we are talking about the normal process. If there's no policy, you are only allowed to work 20 hours in a week, and that's really very little. Like someone that comes in on a work permit who is allowed to work for, if you like, do 24 hours work, it's your business. If your strength, your body can do it, you are free to do it. You can pick 2-3 jobs and do it. So if you want to apply for a work permit, we can be of help. We process all that. If you also want to apply for a study visa, we can help you with that. We do all of them. We are licensed by the government of Canada to do all anything that has to do with visa and immigration. So reach out to us, and don't forget what I said again. Don't forget to support our YouTube channel, and also follow us on all our social media channels. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Threads, we're on LinkedIn, we're also on YouTube. Our handle is @TruLink Travel. See you guys.